I heard her say she wished she had a brother who shared her interests, so I gave her what she asked for. And now I treat her like a stranger. Growing up, my sister, Sarah, 19F, and I, 17M, were close despite our different interests. She was always into sports, and I was into music. She played soccer, basketball, and ran track, while I spent my time practicing guitar, writing songs, and listening to my favorite bands. I thought our differences were what made us unique, and I never imagined they would be a problem. A few months ago, Sarah started hanging out with our new neighbors, the Wilsons. Their daughter, Megan, 18F, is a sports fanatic like my sister. They quickly became best friends, and Megan often came over to our house. I didn't mind because it made Sarah happy, and I was busy with my music anyway. One day, I was in my room practicing when I overheard a conversation between Sarah and Megan. The door to my room was slightly open, and their voices carried through the hallway. Sarah was venting about how she wished she had a brother who shared her passion for sports. Megan tried to comfort her, saying it must be tough having a brother who didn't get her interests. Then Sarah said something that stung. Sometimes I wish I had a brother like you. It would be so much better. I don't know why, but hearing that broke my heart. I always thought Sarah appreciated our differences. I never imagined that she wanted someone else in my place. I didn't confront her about it. Instead, I started distancing myself. I answered her questions with short responses and avoided hanging out with her. She noticed, of course, and kept asking if something was wrong. I lied and said everything was fine. Our parents noticed the tension, but I kept my feelings to myself. The only person I confided in was my best friend, Mark. He tried to convince me to talk to Sarah about it, but I couldn't bring myself to do it. I didn't want to cause more problems. The situation escalated last week. Sarah and Megan were planning a sports tournament for the neighborhood kids, and they asked if I wanted to help. I politely declined, saying I had band practice. Later that day, I overheard Sarah telling our mom how she wished I could be more supportive and involved in her interests. Mom tried to explain that I had my own passions, but Sarah wasn't having it. She said, "Sometimes I feel like he's not even my brother anymore." That was the last straw. I couldn't handle the constant reminders that I wasn't the brother she wanted. I started spending more time at Mark's house, avoiding home as much as possible. Sarah tried to talk to me several times, but I shut her out. It wasn't until yesterday that everything came to a head. Sarah confronted me in my room, demanding to know why I was ignoring her. I couldn't hold it in any longer. I told her everything I overheard, how much it hurt, and why I started pulling away. She looked shocked and then started crying. She tried to explain that she didn't mean it the way I took it, but the damage was done. I told her I needed some space and walked out. Mom and Dad were in the living room, and they could see that something was wrong. Sarah came out after me, tears streaming down her face, and told them everything. They were upset with her for making me feel unwanted and with me for not talking about it sooner. It's been a few hours since the confrontation, and I'm sitting in my room, unsure of what to do next. I feel guilty for not addressing it sooner and causing this mess. Sarah has been crying in her room, and I can hear our parents talking in hushed tones. Mark keeps texting me, asking if I'm okay. I wish things could go back to how they were before. I miss my sister and our bond, but I don't know if I can forget what she said. Maybe with time, things will get better. For now, I just need to figure out how to move forward. Update. It's been a week since the confrontation, and things are still tense at home. Sarah and I have been avoiding each other, and our parents are trying to keep the peace. I decided to take some of the advice I got from Mark and people online and talk to Sarah again. Last night, I knocked on her door and asked if we could talk. She looked hesitant, but agreed. We sat on her bed, and I apologized for shutting her out. She apologized for what she said and explained that she was frustrated and didn't mean it the way it came out. She told me she loves me and wouldn't trade me for anyone. We had a long conversation about our interests and how we can support each other better. I promised to try and be more involved in her sports events, and she promised to come to my band practices and shows. We realized that our differences are what make our relationship unique and special. We hugged it out, and for the first time in weeks, I felt a weight lift off my shoulders. Our parents were relieved to see us talking again, and even Megan stopped by to apologize for her part in the misunderstanding. I know it will take time to fully heal, but I'm hopeful that Sarah and I can rebuild our bond. Sometimes it takes a rough patch to remind us of what truly matters. I'm grateful for the support from Mark and everyone who encouraged me to talk to my sister. Here's to better days ahead.